Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Doesn't contain marzipan. Now, I promised myself I'm going to keep the whiffle to a minimum for the next couple of videos, because I think I've said quite a lot over the last year. So, minimum whiffle, what's going on today? Well, Veganuary, anyway, that being vegan in January seems to be a popular sport in this cold and horrible and snotty month we've got. So in respect to that, I shall pay respect to that, and I think the next few recipes will be vegan. The last one certainly was. The next ones will be. Today we have a spinach, lentil and butter bean soup. Lovely, warming, wholesome and pretty damn easy to cook. Let's go! And what is on today is board of goodness. Let's start off with the core ingredients. Butter beans, 2 tins of those. You can get them dry and soak them. Tins is easier. The yellow split pea lentils. This is a 500 gram pack. I've used about a third, so what's that, about 150 grams of split pea lentils. And some baby spinach, a packet of baby spinach. This is a 250 gram packet. If you can find mature spinach in any of the shops, then you crack on. Baby's okay though. 3 cloves of garlic. You can chop it or crush it. 1 small red onion. Some vegetable stock. I think I used about 1.5 litres. So use as many cubes or stock pots as you need for 1.5 litres. Dried thyme from the cupboard. Dried mint from the cupboard. A teaspoon of each. A teaspoon of turmeric, some olive oil. I use whatever oil you want, but I use olive a lot. A little sprinkle or 2 of salt as you go. And finally, Philadelphia, plant-based Philadelphia. In retrospect, I would probably have used a cream rather than this, but it's all right. I just find vegans a bit questionable on the cheese front. Anyway, let's go! And yes, here we go again. Onions chopped again in a pan with some oil again. Right, I promise to do a video of something without onions in it. But anyway, you know the drill. Onions in, soften, add the garlic, roughly chopped in this particular case. We're not frying them, to be fair, we are indeed just softening them. And having a good clean while I'm at it. How is it that one person can make so much mess of things flying out of pans? I really don't know, but there you go. I'm a bit messy sometimes. And next thing we're going to do is go in with, I boiled a kettle full of water. This is your 1.5 litres of stock. So pour that in, and that wonderful roar as the water hits the frying onions and garlic. And now we're going to put in the stock, in this case stock pots, and you're going to put in, read the instructions on the side of your pack for how many stock pots or stock cubes, depending on what you bought, you need to put in. 1.5 litres, remember. Tom, and have a good stir of that. Here we go, a heady brew. Right, when your stock and onions have nicely settled, give it a couple of minutes for it all to sink in. Then you're going to go in with your split pea lentils. Now I said 150 grams at the start of this, but in the end I'm going with sort of 3 pretty decent handfuls of lentils. I didn't bother weighing them in the end, just go with your gut, and in my gut was 3 decent handfuls of lentils. And allow those to bubble away for a few minutes. You're not going too soft with these, so just allow it to bubble away for a few minutes. Then we're going to start going in with, where are we starting with? The thyme. So a teaspoon of dried thyme. You can use fresh. In this dish, yeah, dried was okay. And again, dried mint. You can use fresh. In this case, dried was okay. It was in my cupboard anyway, and I didn't want to waste some fresh mint and thyme. A teaspoon of turmeric, which gives it this wonderful golden colour. and a stir away, bubble away for a minute or two. Let all that infuse into the liquid. I love the smell halfway through cooking, the different smells that come out, and this is a particularly good one. So give that a few minutes. You can see now it's settled. Herbs and spice are in there, and we go in with the spinach. So what I've done with the spinach is I got one of my bigger knives and started chopping into the spinach. I didn't want it all to be small pieces of spinach, so I just roughly chopped into it and across again. So there are some big pieces, a whole leaf of spinach, and there are some smaller bits. So get that slowly in. Do it slowly because the spinach does melt down. If you throw it all in at once, it just feels like a big heap of spinach sitting on top of your soup. So do it by bits, allow it to slowly soak in and melt in the heated water, and keep stirring as you go. So I think we've got another, where are we, another handful's worth of spinach to put in there. A few minutes later, what did I give it, about 10 minutes for the spinach to all melt in, and you can see now the spinach is lovely and wilted, and those split peas are still whole, but they are bordering on soft. Don't let them dissolve. This can turn into a bit of a syrupy mess if you allow everything to overcook. Next, what I've done with the tins of butter beans is put them into a colander, pour the water out, and give them a good wash under the tap. What you don't need is sometimes with the tinned beans, a lot of the times with the tinned beans, you'll find they taste like they're tinned. There's a sort of little metallic edge to the liquid that's inside. Wash them thoroughly through. They're much better that way. And now we reach the final bit. So the butter beans have been in there for a good 10 minutes, and now I'm going in with the plant cream cheese. Now, as I said at the start of the video, in retrospect I would have probably used the plant cream instead. It's not that this plant cream cheese is bad, it's just it didn't quite give the creaminess that I had really intended when I picked it off the shelf. So your own choice. The plant cheese is not a bad thing. And anyway, there you are. You give that 2 or 3 minutes for it all to soak in, and get your bowl and dish yourself a good dollop. This is a lovely warming. The turmeric makes it yellowy. It is quite creamy. It's just packed full of great veggies and great good stuff. So, you know, you'll thank yourself for cooking this. It's lovely. I like butter beans anyway. Butter beans are really good in a number of things, particularly butter bean mash, if anybody's not tried that before. But anyway, thank you for watching. This was an enjoyable one. This was for Veganuary, for those of us who are doing it. But on to the next one. Thank you very, very much. Like and subscribe, etc.